Howdy folks, Dave here at Thunder Mesa Studio on a Workbench Wednesday. I hope you are having a great day wherever you are and whenever you happen to be watching. The topic for today is moving. Again. Or still. But before we get into all of that, I just wanted to start off with a little programming note. This is the 50th video that I have published this year. Now for some channels, 50 videos, that's no big deal. You know, they've got a whole team working. They do, 3 or 4 of them a week. But for me, doing this all by myself, 50 videos at this point is an accomplishment. So I'm, patting myself on the back a little bit. My goal is to do, about 52 videos a year at bare minimum. So, like one a week. So here at the end of September, I'm at 50. So that's, not bad for this year. And related to that, I wanted to mention that the video production schedule, the video publishing schedule is going to be a little bit more regular going forward, getting back to normal with hopefully 2 videos a week, usually one on Wednesday like this, a Workbench Wednesday, and then a project video or a build or something on Saturday or Sunday, depending on how involved it is. And while we're on the topic, I should mention that Thunder Mesa Studio members over on Patreon do get early access to all the videos here on the channel. They get them usually 2 to 4 days in advance, and they get them without the YouTube ad. So that's early and ad-free. In addition to that, they'll also get exclusive content, an exclusive monthly live stream, and the ability to purchase kits and parts from the builds that I do here on the channel. Those are for members only. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, and if you'd like to help support the channel, you can go over to patreon.com/thundermesa and check all that out. Thanks a lot. But now let's get back to the topic at hand, and that is moving. If you've ever had to move a model railroad, you know that there's a lot involved. Most model railroads are not designed to be moved. They're built into somebody's garage or attic or basement or whatever. Fortunately, I planned ahead a little bit, and I wouldn't call the Thunder Mesa layout or the Goldfield Calico portable necessarily, but they are movable. And so this week I'm wrapping everything up at the old studio, getting everything out of there. And then I'll have another week going forward towards the end of the month until the 30th to get it all clean and everything for the landlords. But first thing is I want to move all of the locomotives and the rolling stock and the structures over here. So we're going to pack all that up and move it to this studio, and then got a big box truck rented, and we're going to move the actual big chunks of the layout itself.
Now, going back to the beginning of the week, I call this Green Box Day because I spent just about all day packing up all of my locomotives and rolling stock into those green Bachmann boxes that they came in, those ubiquitous green boxes. Fortunately, I saved most of them for all of that equipment. Now, not everything fit back in those boxes perfectly because, I've made a lot of modifications on things. Some are custom jobs, some are custom locomotives, custom rolling stock. So I had to improvise here and there and, cut and fit pieces of foam. But we did get it all packed up and moved to the new studio, which, by the way, is only about 15 minutes down the road. So I didn't pack things as securely as I might if I was going to move them across the country or, God forbid, ship them. The next day was all about scenery and structures, basically removing everything from the layouts that hadn't already been removed and that wasn't nailed down, and packing that up and moving it down to the new place. And I have to say that I'm very glad that I gave myself plenty of time to do all of this. I gave myself about 6 weeks to move everything, and that meant, I could take my time and take care and make sure everything got there in one piece. And right here I'm packing structures into a storage box, which is, not something I would use again to move things across the country or to ship anything. But since I, am so close, just loading in the back of my van and driving it down the road, and I can take multiple trips if I need to, that really takes a lot of the pressure off and allows me to move things in a little bit more of a loose manner. Of course, while still taking great care not to break stuff. And yeah, even though I did take great care, a couple of things got broken, but it's nothing that a little bit of glue won't fix.
So now I've got all of the rolling stock and the locomotives and everything stashed away down there underneath the bench work. I've set up a temporary little table here for all of the structures and everything we moved from the old studio. So the room is starting to fill up fast, but you got to keep in mind that all of these things are going to be located on the model railroad, so they won't be taking up all of this extra space once all is said and done. But now, before we move forward, it's time for our air conditioning unit moment. I know some of you down in the comments are just itching to type, "Hey, Dave, what's the deal with that air conditioning unit in the wall there?" A couple of things. I did not put it there. It came with the building. No, I can't remove it. Yes, I know that it vents hot air into the layout room, so I will not be using it. I hope that answers all your questions on this air conditioning unit, which unfortunately I have to talk about in every single video.
Back up in Jerome, it was time to do the final preparations to get the layout sections ready to move. I began by wrapping up any loose wires or cables hanging down and taping or tucking them up underneath the layout benchwork. And then it was a simple matter of going around and removing all of the screws that hold the layout decks to the rollaway stands. I also needed to remove the two backdrop panels from the Calico sections so that when the time came, they would actually fit through the studio door. The Goldfield and Calico layout is made up of two 5-foot long sections, and those needed to be unbolted and separated from each other. I also needed to take down the one remaining backdrop panel for the Thunder Mesa layout. This may be reused as a portable backdrop in the new location. And then at long last, it was finally time to move the layout sections, with the help of my very good sport of a wife. We did need to turn the Big Thunder section of the Thunder Mesa layout on its side to get it through the 3-foot wide door, but remember, these things aren't quite as heavy as they look since most of the scenery is styrofoam. And yes, a couple of things I forgot to remove did fall off, but fortunately, there was minimal damage. And then it was out the wide front doors, down the steps, and into the back of the 15-foot box truck that I had rented just for the occasion. Renting the enclosed truck allowed us to move the layout sections flat, greatly reducing the risk of damage. Of course, the stand had to go with it, but this traveled in the truck upside down with the wheels up to keep it from rolling around. And then it was the same thing again with the first section of the Goldfield and Calico. The On18 Bandit Canyon Railway made the trip down to the new place in the back of my van much easier to move since it's actually designed to be portable. And then 7.5 miles down the road, we unloaded everything and set it up in place in the new studio location. There were a couple of stressful, nerve-wracking moments, but all in all, the move went very, very smoothly. We ended up making 2 trips between the old studio and the new one, but by the time we were finished, we were pretty much layout moving pros.
And now, with everything here, I think I can finally proclaim that the move of Thunder Mesa Studio is officially done. Can we get an amen from the congregation? And you know, it went really, really smoothly, remarkably smoothly, aided by the fact that I think I gave myself plenty of time. Didn't have to go that far, only about 7.5 miles. And, you know, the fact that I've been preparing for a move for quite a while, that was one of the big motivations behind the redesign and reimagining of the Thunder Mesa layout. And I'm really glad I started that when I did. It would have made the move much, much more difficult to move the layout as it had existed before. Now I've got this fresh canvas to start with, and I am really looking forward to getting back to model railroading and model making. And now the next step will be to put everything back together again the way it was. Put the backdrops back up on the Goldfield and Calico, the rock formations, a few of the structures on the Thunder Mesa layout. And then, you know, this is going to start to feel like home. And so until next time, I want to thank you all so much for watching today. I want to thank you for following along with this move. This was a totally unplanned detour. I had a whole bunch of other things scheduled over the last couple of months, and now those have all been pushed down the line. But I hope you'll join me for those projects going forward. If it's your first time here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really does help, and it's absolutely free. If you like the video, hit like. If you enjoyed it a lot, share it with your friends. You can also follow Thunder Mesa over on Instagram at thunder.mesa and see the resources available on the Thunder Mesa Studio website at thundermesa.studio. As always, a huge thank you to our Patreon members who help to make these videos possible. Until next time, keep moving forward, my friends. Adios for now.